Hi, and welcome to OccamsRazor, where the simplest answer is often the truth and common sense reigns supreme. OccamsRazor is a channel dedicated to cultural, political, and the events that are shaping our country today, but from a common sense perspective, where the truth is obvious. Today we're going to take a look at some of the protests across the country for the Free Palestine movement, and specifically UCLA. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscriptions. That's our first hurdle, and we got a long way to go. So like the video, leave a comment, join the channel, and here we go.
Breaking news, clashes on campus as a new encampment sprouts up on UCLA. Police are back to shut it down. Good evening. Welcome to Fox 7 News at 5. I'm Alex Michelson.
And I'm Christine Devine. All this happening on the same day the university's chancellor is grilled in Congress. We have more right now. We get right to Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf, who's been there all day. Matthew?
Well, Christine, Alex, right now dozens of protesters are outside of Dodd Hall, but also inside. You can see the protesters are actually trying to cover the windows so media can't see inside. But we've been following these protesters all over campus today. Chaos returning to campus at UCLA. Pro-Palestinian protesters Thursday taking over Kirchhoff Hall. Tents and food brought in over barricades. What brings you out here again?
I'll get back to you. We're going to do an interview with you today, Fox.
Organizers not willing to speak with Fox 11. But then more demonstrators move in. It's a free-for-all outside of Kirchhoff Hall. More protesters are going into this new encampment.
This is peaceful. This is our property. We're here to stop allowing the institution to wrongfully use our money for paying the tuition to support a war.
When you take over a building, is it still peaceful?
Yeah, because our tuition pays for it. So that's it. Thank you so much.
I'm saddened by the recent turmoil on our campus.
UCLA Chancellor Gene Block testifying before Congress Thursday.
And they're not letting me walk in.
The Republican-led committee playing this video from last month.
Good evening, everyone. You're watching KCAL News at 6 on CBS Los Angeles. I'm Pat Harvey. These demonstrations have been happening all day with an unlawful assembly order being declared just hours ago. Let's get right to KCAL's Tom Waite, live from the scene. Tom?
And good evening to you, Pat. Yeah, very intense and a lot of emotions here today at UCLA on the campus. But just behind me, you can see the protesters. They've kind of dispersed onto this grassy area. And Ben, let's just spin around really quick and we'll show you Dodd Hall. This is where they were just a short time ago, inside and barricaded inside of the building. You can see security now. They are outside. They've got the building, it appears they've got the building cleared and locked down. And when I say barricades, I can tell you that they were holding the doors shut and they were also covering the doors. I don't know if they were actually placing, they actually did place some objects that I could see out in front of the building. As I said, it's kind of calmer now, but take a look at this video that we're going to show you. This is just a short time ago. And there you go. That is kind of a little bit of a taste of what we were seeing for quite some time right outside of Dodd Hall. While people were inside, we are told by some of the protesters that it was very peaceful, that it was a teach-in/sit-in inside. But I can tell you that some of the chants outside were pretty ugly. People calling from the river to the sea, let Palestine be free. That, of course, from the river to the sea, that chant. For a lot of people, that means a pretty clear thing, which means the elimination of Israel. There was also chants for intifada. So certainly some questionable non-unifying chants that we heard outside of the building. We did speak with some students who were inside of Dodd Hall as protesters kind of took over the building. We also spoke with one of the spokespersons for the sit-in and the movement here.
There's classes going on, but they're just, I don't know. There's no. They were locking up the doors over there, like they were trying to close the doors. I don't know.
Probably there are like 20% of the people actually in there actually know what's going on.
Yeah. They kicked me out. They told me to leave. They tried to snatch my phone because I was taking a video. But I don't.
The idea is just to continue taking up space. The congressional hearing, as we know, was this morning, which is again just political theater, an attempt to censor pro-Palestinian voices.
So there is once again a live look at the protesters that were inside of Dodd Hall. They came streaming out. There was a fire marshal that came in. All of this following a breakup of another encampment this morning at Kirchhoff Hall, where protesters were removed. They then made their way over here. We're not far from where that big encampment
protest on campus of a Jewish student blocked from walking to class.
On the blockade, have they been disciplined? This is being investigated, and we'll see what happens with the disciplinary process.
Also last month at UCLA, a violent attack by counter-protesters. Fireworks and bear spray deployed, some people beaten, but no arrest. The next night, more than 200 people taken away by police.
Are any of these people in jail?
Can I finish my statement?
No, are any of these people in jail? Are any of these people arrested?
LAPD is working on trying to identify the people who were assailants that evening.
What'd you think?
He lied. He just kept lying. He watched us get harmed for 4 hours and did nothing.
Police from at least 4 departments Thursday surrounding the taken-over building, demonstrators then changing their plan. Protesters are leaving Kirchhoff Hall and mobilizing to Murphy. The large crowd at Murphy Hall then moving again. Setting up a new camp inside Dodd Hall, vandalizing a wall inside, and covering our camera. So ever since we got to Dodd Hall, we haven't seen any police. They kind of backed off. I want to show you this. They have this door tied shut with what looks like electrical cables. So they're planning to stay here for some time. And we really haven't seen too many problems outside of Dodd Hall itself. We have seen some agitators, but for the most part, it's pretty calm outside of Dodd right now. And again, no sight of police so far.
Okay, well, there you have it. Protest at UCLA again. UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles, one of the crown gems of the UC system. Higher education at its finest. And yet, protest after protest after protest. Student protest is a natural thing, but it's happening all over the country, and it's not organic. It's being supported, egged on, encouraged, and usually by far left money sources. The students, I'm pretty sure, don't know the truth of what it is they're protesting. Because do you think if the students really knew the truth, if they understood that the so-called Palestinians, and I'm not going to go into the history because I could, but the Palestinians have been given $6 billion, 3 from the Europeans and 3 from the Americans for, oh, I don't know, forever. And instead of using that money to create luxury condominiums for their citizens and feed them and educate them and create a vibrant society, they make tunnels, they buy arms and weapons, and they fire rockets into civilian targets. The difference between Israel and Hamas. Israel tries to limit civilian casualties. Hamas uses civilians as shields. Israel tries to be pinpoint specific and go after military targets. Hamas goes after only civilian targets. On October 7th, where did they go? It was a rave concert. That's not a military target. But also these students who are protesting free Palestine. Palestine is free, at least from the Israelis. Not so free from Hamas. They say no genocide, but there isn't any genocide. Israel is a modern military, a nuclear power. If they wanted to wipe out all of the Palestinians in Gaza, it would take, about a day. They're saying no apartheid, but there isn't any apartheid because Israel actually allows Israeli Arabs to have more rights than any other Muslim in any Arab country in the Middle East. That's not called apartheid. When they chant from the river to the sea, do they understand that the river they're talking about is the Jordan River and the sea that they're talking about is the Mediterranean Sea? And if you free Palestine from the river to the sea, that means the extermination of the Jewish state. And that's what they're calling for, in addition to the extermination of the constitutional American government. that Israel has one of the largest LGBTQ communities in the world. It recognizes LGBTQ rights. You can have gay marriage. It recognizes the right of a woman to have an abortion. That doesn't happen in Muslim countries under Sharia law, in any of them. Not Jordan, not Syria, not Saudi Arabia, not Iran, not any of them. But I don't think these students know that. But you know who does? George Soros, Bill Gates, Antifa, Ilhan Homer, AOC, the Squad, and all of the leftist Marxist money that is backing all of these protests as a training ground for the protests when they need the actual revolution. But one thing is for sure, it's not just Israel over the Palestinians that these young students are protesting. This is the starter army for the Marxist revolution that is happening right now under our nose. It's obvious because you see the same tactics and you see the same people and you see the same nefarious movements that you saw in 2020 in Portland, in the Summer of Love, in Minnesota. It's the same thing. And if we don't stop it, we'll have nobody to blame but ourselves. We need to see the truth, spread the truth, and be a light unto not only these children who don't understand what it is they're doing, but we need to revive the American spirit, the belief in a Judeo-Christian ethic, in the family, in God and country. That's OccamsRazor. That's the simplest truth. That's common sense. So like the video, leave a comment. We need 1,000 subscriptions, so subscribe to the channel and I'll see you next time.